It's the Santana Show. Interesting guests and insight in good conversation with Naomi Santana. Lock in. Listen. Engage.
Welcome to another episode of the Santana Show. My guest today is Ryan Ketcham, a multimedia journalist working in Chico. Ryan received his associate's degree in journalism from Moorpark College and his bachelor's degree in broadcast journalism from CSUN. He was also a contestant on NBC LA's The Choice. Ryan, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Naomi. I appreciate it.
Of course, it's a pleasure. So how did you discover your passion for journalism?
Yeah, so it actually started at a young age. I was playing basketball in high school, and I've always been a big sports guy and always, watching sports as well. And when I injured my knee, I had a full dislocation of my knee twice and had surgery. I was looking into, different opportunities in the workforce, trying to look for maybe different directions other than playing. And I started broadcasting football games when I was 16 years old, and I just fell in love with it, did it all through college, and now working as a multimedia journalist. So that's kind of how I got my in, and I just kind of took it ever since, and I just love telling people stories. So it's been a great journey so far, though.
That's fantastic. What news station do you work at?
Yeah, so
I know it's in Chico, right?
Yeah, so it's in Chico. We're called Action News Now. It's KHSL, KNVN. So KHSL is, channel 12, and KNVN's channel 24. It's a CBS, NBC, CW affiliate station in Chico, California. And I was hired in late August, and so far I've been working here for a little over 3 months now. So it's been a pretty fun opportunity, but I'm based out of Chico, and we basically cover 5 counties here in Northern California, and most of my stories are in Butte County, usually from Paradise to Oroville to Chico, and basically all around there.
Wow, that's fantastic. Where are you originally from? Like, are you from Cali, but like from another city, or are you from another state, or where are you from?
Yeah, I'm a SoCal boy. So I was born and raised in Southern California. I grew up originally in Lomita, Torrance area. That's where I was born. And then I moved up to Ventura County and lived in Camarillo for a while, then lived in Simi Valley before
Ah,
moving up here
nice.
to Chico. Yeah, it's a great area.
I
What
love
did
the Camarillo area.
Yeah, that's a fantastic area. I went through elementary school, middle school over there. I went to high school at Westlake High School while still living in Camarillo, and then moved to Simi Valley halfway through my high school years, and just kind of stayed at Westlake though. But yeah, that's kind of where I come from. So a little bit of change moving up here to Northern California, especially during the winter and fall. But
Yeah.
been adjusting pretty well so far.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So you got your job immediately after you graduated. You graduated this year, right? Well, almost
Yeah,
immediately. You graduated
yeah.
this year. So like congratulations on graduating.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And yeah, I graduated in May of this year. And basically, I was talking to some stations throughout my last semester. And this one up here in Chico just made the biggest push, and were really wanting me. And I thought it would be the best opportunity. And it was the best decision for me after being here for the past 3 months. I mean, so many
Mhm.
opportunities, so many different stories I've been able to cover. It's just been fantastic being part of this Action News Now team. And yeah, I was basically talking to them right after graduation. I didn't start working until the end of summer, as I mentioned, in late August, but
Mhm.
I was able to kind of enjoy the summer and still, get in talks with these stations, finish out my previous jobs here in Southern California, then gave me enough time to move up here and now start my journey with Action News Now. But it's been incredible working with this team.
That's awesome. So what experiences, like what work experiences or internship experiences have you had that have helped you with your career?
Yeah, definitely. My uh, internship and volunteer experiences. Basically, what I tell anybody that's in college right now or in high school is just get the experience because the degree will take you far. The degree is necessary. You'll learn a lot in school. At Cal State Northridge, I learned a lot. My professors taught me a lot and definitely prepared me for this career field. So I'm very thankful for them. Same at Moore Park College as well. They prepared me very well for this opportunity, but um, those the work experience is necessary. You need to be able to get in front of the camera if you're going to, be in front of the camera, or you want to be able to have a job in front of the camera later on in your life. You need to get that experience. So I was a play-by-play commentator for 7 years. Live TV pretty much right there. We had a national broadcast to NFHS Network for high school football. I did broadcasting for community college sports as well at Moore Park College. I was on the news station with, Valley View News at Cal State Northridge. I was on NBC LA even for a little bit on The Choice. That was a really cool opportunity. And just, getting all of this experience. I hosted a show for EBA Sports. I was hosting stuff for what the Yak Foundation as well in Camarillo, Young Athletes for Christ. And all of that experience basically, it taught me time management. It taught me how to be able to hit those deadlines. It taught me also how to better create stories and better tell stories for people, because in journalism, that's what you're doing. You're getting all the information from an event, from a person, from whatever it is, and you have to tell the story. It's a big responsibility to tell that story. So um, that's what I think I learned the most from that work experience, and definitely all those jobs helped in that.
Absolutely. All of those experiences help you, um, you know, sharpen those skills that you have.
One really cool thing about Cal State Northridge is, uh, a lot of people have a misinterpretation of college in the sense of, I think people kind of almost look at you as a college student. So your level, your performance, your output is going to be below a professional, pretty much.
Mhm.
At least that's how I feel like a lot of people take that. But Cal State Northridge, I feel like we put out, very professional packages, very professional, um, newscast as well with their anchoring and everything that went along with it. So I think that definitely prepared me for a future in this job. But yeah, if you ever watch a Valley View News show, you should expect, something along the level of, a professional newscast. We do a very good job over there. Ben Davis and Lincoln over there, they do a great job with getting all the students ready for that. And it's just been fantastic being a part of the CSUN family going through there, and hopefully, making them proud up at the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me a little bit more about NBCLA's The Choice. How did you come upon that opportunity?
Yeah, so that was a really neat opportunity. Basically, NBCLA, every year, at least this was prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, they hosted this event, and yeah, it was called The Choice. It's a little segment on the NBCLA sports debate show, Going Rogan, with Fred Rogan. And basically, his show, it's a debate show. He'll have on at least two guests, and basically they'll just bring up a bunch of sports topics and they'll debate about it. It's a great show. But every year they host The Choice, where they bring in a bunch of um, young professionals or college aged students who are in sports broadcasting, and they're, or just want to have a career in that, I guess you could say,
Mhm.
and in front of the camera, obviously. And basically, they're trying to find the best in Southern California. So the way that it works is you send in a little audition tape, and they say they receive a couple hundred. I'm not sure exactly how many they receive, but then they invite about 20 to the studio. You go into the NBCLA studio. I got to meet Fred Rogan and everything. It was a really cool opportunity. Got inside the professional studio, and we did a couple mock debates, just kind of how our voice sounds, how we're going to actually have the debate and how we're going to back up our opinion, whatever have you. And after the determination of who are the best ones, and they go down to the final eight, and then you get invited to actually be on the show. So luckily enough, this actually
Mm.
happened back in February, March of 2020. So if you're, connecting timelines, and that's right before everything started shutting down.
Yeah,
So I
exactly.
was able, yeah, so I was able to go on the show. It was great. I was able to talk about, I believe it was Los Angeles Angels. I also got to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Clippers, which one's the premier team in LA. That's right before the Los Angeles Lakers won the NBA Finals in the bubble. I had a pretty good prediction as well. I said that Dwight Howard was going to be the reason why they won the championship, and I was pretty spot on with that. Um,
Wow.
but besides the point, but that was pretty cool, and I had a good time with the show. That first round, it was going to be a bracket style, so you would have two round of eight matchups. So you'd face one person, then you would face another, and then
Mm.
whoever has the highest amount of points, because Fred Rogan and his producers, they give you a score, and then the fans give you a score. So they watch it in NBCLA. All the fans go on and basically vote for you or vote for the other person, and
Oh,
whoever
that's
has the
cool.
highest, yeah, it's really cool. And whoever has the highest score based out of your, two appearances, then moves on to the
Mhm.
next round. Then there's the round of four. Then there's the championship round, and whoever won was supposed to get a spot on as a guest on Fred Rogan's show, Going Rogan. And
Mm.
unfortunately, it was canceled due to COVID-19 pandemic, and they never brought it back. And so, unfortunately, I only had one appearance on it. I did
Oh,
win the spot, so that was pretty cool. So,
oh, that's
uh,
cool.
yeah, so I did win in my appearance, but
Uh-huh.
unfortunately, we couldn't move on further than that. So that's when it stopped. But it was a really cool opportunity. It was fun just, being in that high level of a production as well, and just seeing how everything works before I was able to get here to Action News now. And it was a really neat opportunity. I was very thankful for that.
That's fantastic. That's an awesome opportunity. And I'm glad that you were able to see it, you were able to find it, and you went for it. You like seized
Right.
it.
Yeah, well, thank you. Definitely.
Yeah.
It was a really cool opportunity. Tammy Trujillo, she works at NPR, the radio station, and she also was the advisor for us at our radio station for Cal State Northridge at KCSN 88.5. And I had a couple classes where I had to put hours in the radio station. I spent a lot of time with her. She's a great person, and great at what she does. And she actually was the one that told me about the opportunity and sent me an email and was like, "Hey, you should try for this. Why not just shoot your
Yeah.
shot pretty much." And so that was really cool that she sent that over to me. And lucky enough, I was able to get that opportunity and try to shine out there on TV.
That's awesome. So, what is your favorite thing about your job?
Yeah, this might surprise some people, but I bet a lot of journalists can kind of relate to this. My favorite thing about the job is kind of the craziness of it. It's kind of the hectic nature of it, because literally you'll go in into a work day, you'll have a couple pitches, that you have to prepare. The station may have some ideas of a few things that we should probably cover that day, that assignment desk um, might come up with, or anybody like that. But you always, as a reporter, come in with several ideas and have it structured a little bit. But uh, basically, it's just the hectic nature, because you'll start covering your story, and then suddenly you'll find out that it's a different angle than you actually were thinking, or suddenly breaking news happens, and you have to run around and do that. Like yesterday on Thanksgiving, I had a live 5 o'clock hit and a live 6 o'clock hit. I was supposed to hit at the top of each show. So
Mhm.
I got in at 2:30, And so I got out right away and started doing my interviews, getting my B-roll shots, getting everything I needed. It was going to be a live VSV, so voiceover, sound by voiceover. I had to get the B-roll, the sound, and some others. So I was getting that. I finished my interviews, finished getting my B-roll. I was writing my script, and then suddenly the station called me, and they're like, "Hey, we heard shots fired in this one area. We need you to go check it out." Boom, breaking news. I have to go. So I
Yeah.
have to not ditch the story. I still have to work on the story, send in the video,
Yeah.
do all of my stuff, get the script, but I
Hmm.
have to get to that breaking news. I need people to, I need to update the people on anything. I need to be able to go live if necessary. I need, to get there and get that information. So
Right.
I zoom on over there. Um, I mean, lucky enough, I guess, basically the situation, it wasn't as was reported at first, which sometimes that happens with breaking news, and the police weren't even necessary at the location, so nothing really happened. So I went back to my story, and I was ready for my live 5 o'clock hit. Then suddenly the Raiders and Chargers game, I mean, not Raiders Chargers, the Raiders Cowboys game,
Hmm.
that went into overtime, and that's on the same station that we have our 5 o'clock show on. So what happens with that is we have to wait for the game to end and all the post game and everything until we start
Oh.
our show. So now I'm just kind of waiting around for my 5 o'clock hit. Ends up my 5 o'clock hit gets canceled. I have to do my 6 o'clock hit now though. So then I do the 6 o'clock, and I'm all good with that. So then suddenly, we go off, and I'm starting to work on my package for the 10 and 11 show. And I'm going off and doing my interviews. I get another call that there's breaking news. So I have to ditch the story a little bit. I run off to breaking news. I cover it. I give the information. I get locator video. I get all that stuff. I send it in. I have to go back to my story. Then I have to finish it and then send it in. So it's the crazy nature of it. It's the hecticness. It's very stressful most times, but it's so rewarding at the end of the day when you finish your stories and you're done with them. When you are able to go back to your place after the day, and you're able to, not have to think about finishing up a story or what you have to work on the next day because you didn't finish something. Everything ends that day. All your stories end that day. So it's a fantastic thing to know, and just kind of wiping your hands off after the day and then going into the next one.
Right. Absolutely. I could imagine how hectic it can get. Um, I thought it got hectic when I was involved in the student news organization on campus, but no, it doesn't compare.
Right. Yeah, it's an interesting transition because usually in college you're just learning how to create a package, right? You're just learning how to do these things. So you're having so much time to create a package. I remember in college, I mean, I did day turns. I did a day turn. That was my last package that I did. So literally I went out starting at 11:30. I believe it was at a food bank in Northridge, and it was during the heart of the COVID-19 pandemic before
Hmm.
vaccines. So um, we were checking out this food bank and kind of how they're helping the community, uh, and it was great to be able to cover that story. But it was my first day turn, so it was really stressful, and I had like 11:30 to, I don't know, like 5 o'clock to get it in, and I was finally able to get it in. I had so much pressure. I was trying to do this, and we have like a week to create a package. Then suddenly you go into the next level, and I mean, it's kind of a sink or swim situation. You go in, and they're telling you, you have a package to do for, the 10 and 11, but first you need to be able to have a live hit at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and 6 o'clock at a different story, and you need to get that stuff done. And
Hmm.
it's just something that happens. I mean, the people in the business, they all know, they go through the transition, and it's just you either sink or swim, and you hope you just adapt. And I've been able to prep myself enough and be able to give myself enough time to learn to be able to adapt to the situation. And lucky enough, I've been able to do so. But that's definitely a interesting change of pace that you see.
Yeah, absolutely. So, how do you manage your stress? Would you say you have like a good work-life balance?
I'm getting a good work-life balance, let's
You're
say.
getting it. Yeah. I know you barely
So
have like 3 months, you said, right? But like, yeah.
right, yeah, getting into the new station, you're adapting to everything. One of the things that is interesting is when you move to a new station is just um, getting to know the community. I doing enough research outside and doing enough research during your stories as well, just to find out what the community cares about, what the community needs. Um, seeing all of the issues with the community or lack thereof, where they, some strengths and weaknesses are, where the stories are located pretty much. And, that's kind of a portion of the stress level. But I think I've been doing a better job with it. But one thing that I've always been a big believer in through my college days as well, and, I'm still a big believer in is finding a person, place, and activity to escape stress that's away from whatever is giving you that stress. So whether it's calling that one person up and, just kind of letting it out sometimes and just, getting things off your chest and just either hearing their voice or whatever. And,
Hmm.
a person that can put you in a different place than your work mode, an activity that can put you in a different place during your work mode. And I think that is, very special to have a place that, makes you escape that. I know for the longest time that was the gym for me, and that still is the gym for me, but it's a time where I can just focus on nothing else except that. And I think that's the biggest trick. That's the biggest thing that people need to focus on, because I mean, ever since I've been here, I've never um, I've never known how good weekends are, I guess you could say, how important those are. And
Hmm.
it definitely is to be able to escape that stress, because if you don't escape it, then you're going to burn out. And that's with everybody and just work in general. But you need to be able to have that person, place, and activity to escape that.
Right. That's so true. And I like how you put it that person, place, and activity. That's like the perfect three things to have when you're stressed. And so,
Right.
what would you say are or have been your best and worst moments on camera?
So many to go through. Um, Definitely, yeah. There have been so many, good times on camera, so many bad times on camera as well. I mean, I remember my first live shot. So uh, I've been on, live broadcast for the past 7 years, but it's a lot different than when you actually go live, uh, for a news station, because this
Hmm.
Conejo TV, it was great. It prepared me and everything. It was fantastic. But it's basically volunteering for all students in the Conejo Valley. So we have elementary school kids, middle school, high school, college. And basically, it's just to be able to get that experience necessary for the next level. And I would suggest everybody to find something like that in your community if you have that. But
Hmm.
Conejo TV was that for me. So I was live all the time. But it wasn't like I had a producer in my ear and saying, hey, you only have this amount of time, you have this amount of time. It was not as structured as that. So it was a little bit
Right.
easier.
Hmm.
With this, literally, they'll say, okay, you're on at 6:07. I'll have the producer in my ear and I'll hear the newscast and they say cue, boom, you have to speak. And then they'll say, oh, your shot's up. And they'll be like, okay, 15 seconds, 10, 5. And then they say cue and boom, you're back on. And you do your sig out. And then you'll go on and they'll tell you, okay, you're off. And you go off camera then, and now you start writing your other thing or whatever. You would continue writing your other thing that you were working on. But so yeah, it's a little bit different for sure. But I remember my first live shot at Action News Now. I believe it was 109 degrees that day, it
Oh my
was,
goodness.
yeah,
Oh
it
my
was
goodness.
hot. It gets
Super
hot up
hot.
here. I know it's like this area, obviously from being in SoCal, I mean, Simi Valley, it gets up well past 114 degrees, but
Mhm.
it's a different heat up here. And we'll have areas up here that get well over 100 and 15 degrees as well, but then we have areas up here that start snowing too. So
Mhm.
it's a big change in temperature
Yeah.
that we have, as we have all the seasons up here. Obviously with SoCal life, there's only one season pretty
Only
much.
one. Exactly.
So that's a little transition, but yeah, it was 109 degrees. We were, I was at this, um, this fire station, and basically they were giving out water because there were dry wells in Glenn County. That's a big issue that we have up here, our dry wells with the drought. Um, and basically they were giving out free water to people that have dry wells. So it was a great event. It was great to cover. It was a lot of positivity with it as well. It helped out a lot of community members. But it was my first live shot. It's 109 degrees. I was sweating buckets. I was trying to make sure I look okay on camera. I was having issues with the camera because of the brightness of the sun as well, and it was
Mhm.
inside, but there was still sun being casted in. So
Mhm.
I was trying to make it look as good as possible. I wasn't as used to using a camera like this just yet, so I was trying to fix it. There's no photogs, no photographers that work with you, so obviously as
Right.
a
You have
multimedia
to,
journalist,
yeah, you have to do everything
yeah,
yourself. Yeah.
yeah, you're doing it yourself. So I'm back there trying to make it look good. I'm trying to make sure the equipment's good, because I don't know necessarily what it's supposed to look like on a successful live shot. I think I maybe saw one live shot before. So I'm like, okay, I
Mhm.
think this is right. Finally I jump on and I do it, and I was so nervous, but it went well. And I'm happy it did. But uh yeah, there's that was definitely some of the more stressful, embarrassing moments on camera. But
Right. Yeah.
um you
Good thing it
know
turned out well though.
definitely I'm glad it did. And there's definitely been some good moments on camera. I've had a couple good live shots. I can't think of any specific memories, at least as of now, but I definitely have had some really good moments. There was this one story that I did that was actually this mural that a half-deaf artist created. So she called herself a half-deaf artist, and she's a coda, which means she's a child of deaf adults. So both of her parents are deaf. So her first language she learned, to communicate with was ASL, American Sign Language, and then she learned English a little bit later
Mhm.
on. But it was this mural that was basically encouraging people to learn sign language. So it's a little more inclusive for those that can't speak and can only communicate through sign language. So it was
Mhm.
really interesting, a really nice story to be able to cover, and I think I did a pretty good job at it. And just kind of uh, the obstacles that I had to go through with it without having a translator. So she didn't want to sign and speak at the same time because she didn't want to mess up on any of them. So just doing that and getting her signing and doing voiceovers with her and just
Uh-huh.
jumping around. It was a really nice story to do though, and I was very thankful that I was able to get that message out there and be able to cover that new mural. So that was probably one of my better moments, and I feel like that was a good moment in front of camera too.
Oh, that's good. That sounds like a great story too.
Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. What advice or tips would you give to people interested in pursuing a career in journalism?
Mhm. Yeah, pursuing a career in journalism, I'd say don't get discouraged, because so many people are nervous getting on camera. I get it, I understand. I'll interview a bunch of people every single day, and most of them are nervous to get on camera. Everybody feels that way. Uh, but one thing that um, I would say as well is, you will go through adversity when you get into this job. You will do things wrong. You will get in front of the camera and probably make a fool of yourself. You'll forget what you want to say uh, before you're, able to, ad lib pretty well, and you'll forget things. You'll do a lot of things wrong. You'll make all the mistakes, but don't be discouraged by it. Everybody goes through that learning process in this field, and you have to go through it to be able to get better. The thing that I always think of is the only way to get better is to know that you're doing something wrong, or somebody tells you you're doing something wrong. That's the only way you could get better. That's the only way you could change it. If everybody in
Exactly.
your life, yeah, exactly. If everybody in your life, your boss, if whoever it is always telling you that you're doing a good job, that means you don't know you're doing something wrong. If they keep telling you you're doing a good job, because you're going to keep
Exactly.
doing that same thing. Exactly.
Exactly.
So unless you recognize it yourself by seeing other journalists working and them doing something better, or them doing something different that you think is better than what you're doing, or somebody actually tells you that you're doing something wrong, then you're not going to improve. So not being not being discouraged by that, and being humble enough to recognize that you can get better, and recognize that you do have things to work on, then you'll be fine in this business. But I think that's the biggest thing, because a lot of people get discouraged right away because they quote unquote fail at something, or they
Hmm.
don't live up to the expectation that they would like to, um, for a certain package, or for a certain live shot, or whatever have you. But to not get discouraged by that, and know that every fail, or every if you want to call it fail, or every mistake, you will get better, you will learn from it, and you will have a better package or live shot in the next one.
Exactly. That's very true. The key is to not get discouraged, like you said. You have to keep going, and like, of course, you're not going to expect to like, you know, be all the way up here. If you're starting here, you have to start, from the bottom and make your way up, and then learn from your mistakes. Would you like to share your social media handles?
Oh yeah, sure. So I could be found at Ketcham TV. So Ketcham TV. That's on Twitter. That's on Instagram. You could be able to find that through Facebook as well, or just Ryan Ketcham, my name. You could also find me on there. And yeah, basically, I just try to keep everybody up to date with my career. But yeah, thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak with you. I appreciate it.
No.
You've been listening to The Santana Show with Naomi Santana. Interesting guests and insight with good conversation. You can follow Naomi on Twitter at Naomi Santana 45 and The Santana Show at The Santana Show _. Please subscribe to The Santana Show on YouTube. Thank you for listening. Join Naomi again next time on The Santana Show.